Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a beefy, meaty, cheesy, absolutely delicious lasagna, and these are the ingredients. Now the ingredients are simple, but you're going to get some bold, delicious flavors from this lasagna. As y'all can see, we packing in the cheese, we packing in two meats, beef and Italian sausage, honey. We got the pasta sauce and everything else you're going to need to make this lasagna so delicious. Now, as y'all know, lasagna costs $1 bazillion to make. Okay, if it was $2 bazillion, baby, we might not be able to do it. So, keeping in mind that this is a little bit of a pricey dish, I know you want the best recipe. And baby, I will not be letting you down. And so I am going to chop up one onion. I'm also going to add in 2 tomatoes. You don't really need these tomatoes, but as y'all can see, mine was a little bit on their last leg. But baby, they still had a leg. So I'm going to be putting them in this pasta dish. But this is totally optional. Y'all know when y'all be doing stuff like this at the house, we just got to use up whatever we got. Okay, so I'm going to chop those into a medium dice. I'm also going to be mincing up about 5 cloves of garlic. I'm going to heat my Dutch oven to a medium heat, and then I'm going to add in 1.25 pounds of ground beef. You don't have to do 1.25 pounds. 1 pound is just fine, but mine comes in packets that are this large. I'm also going to add 1 pound of sweet Italian sausage. I feel like the sweet Italian sausage is so delicious in lasagna. It's already seasoned. It's going to add a great flavor. I'm going to break up the meats with my hand when I put them in just to help them crumble better. And then I'm going to go with my spatula and I'm going to break them up and I'm going to cook them until they are just browned. You're going to see that a lot of fat and some liquid is going to be released. I am going to skim all of that off because the pasta sauce I am using has olive oil, plus we're adding so many cheeses. You really do not want any excess fat coming from the meat. It's not necessary because of how much fat is going into this dish. I'm then going to add all of the onion and the garlic, and I'm going to allow this to saute on a medium temperature for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add some salt and my seasonings. For my seasonings, I basically made an Italian seasoning blend with the dried herbs I have at the house with some oregano, some thyme, a little rosemary, basil. Also added in some garlic powder, onion powder, and some chili flakes. Once I let that cook for about a minute or two, I'm then going to add my tomatoes and then my pasta sauce. You can use whatever spaghetti sauce has a good flavor for you. I am going to use this organic tomato basil one that has a little olive oil in it. Whichever brand you use, you need about 50 ounces or a little bit less of the pasta sauce. I'm also going to add in some dry red wine and about 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. And yes, sugar does go in tomato sauce. Okay. Argue with your mama and not me, baby. Okay, now the dry red wine is totally optional, but I like to use it just to add some depth of flavor. I'm then going to put in some fresh herbs. Those are just from my garden. You know, if you ain't growing them, honey, you know, you ain't got to add them, but they do taste good. I'm going to simmer this sauce for as long as it takes for the flavors to come together. For me, I like to simmer mine for about an hour. I'm going to put in a little bit of beef better than bouillon, and my sauce is going to simmer on low. If you don't want to wait 1 hour, honey, you can just do 30 minutes, or you can even put this in the crock pot overnight. I'm going to prepare my lasagna noodles according to the package instructions. However, you can use those no boil noodles, or you can save a little money and just get regular lasagna noodles and then let them soak in hot water for about 30 minutes, like while your sauce is going, and that will soften them up enough to be ready for lasagna too. Okay, sometimes I don't like buying the no boil ones because sometimes they're a bit too thin for my preference. Once these noodles have been cooking for 8 minutes, I'm going to use some tongs to get them out of the pot, and I'm going to put them on a baking sheet just to let them cool. Now, one tip that I use so they don't stick together too bad is that I spray them with a little bit of oil between every layer so I can put the next layer of noodles on the top. And I also always do like a hatch pattern. If you lay them the same direction, they will always stick. Okay, so while those are cooling, I'm going to make the the ricotta mixture. You can use ricotta cheese. You can use cottage cheese. I know some of y'all don't like ricotta. I don't know what's wrong with you guys, okay? But I'm going to put 15 ounces of this in here with 1 egg and a dash of nutmeg. Trust your girl, okay? The dash of nutmeg is good. I'll then put a bit of salt and just a touch of pepper and mix this together and set it at the side. Now, I told y'all this was going to be cheesy. If you lactose, baby, get your pills out. Get acquainted with that toilet, okay? Because we going to use 1 whole pound of whole milk mozzarella cheese. It is important that you use the low moisture mozzarella. The low moisture mozzarella has less water in it, and so it's going to add less moisture to your lasagna. We already have a lot of moisture from the sauce, so we don't need any excess from the cheese. I am going to just take a sharp knife and cut slices of mozzarella cheese kind of thin. I really hate grating mozzarella because it's so soft. I feel like it doesn't come out well, and the only way I can get whole milk mozzarella is on a block. So I am just going to cut it thinly. My pasta sauce is ready. It is delicious. You can adjust any of the flavors to your taste. I am going to freshen it up a bit by adding a little bit of fresh basil from my garden. I just love adding the little basil at the end. If you have it, use it. You don't want to simmer basil for the whole cook time, or else you're not going to get the same flavor. You just want to add it right at the end and then turn off the heat and pick out any stems that are in your sauce. Now, baby, is ready for the best part. We are going to assemble this lasagna. I am using a dish that is very deep, but it is not quite as wide as your typical 9x13. So if you're using a 9x13 dish, you are not going to need to do what I have to do, which is cut some of my noodles in half. The ones that I'm going to put on the edge, I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm just going to overlap them in the middle. I'm using this dish because not only is it cute, but I like that it is so deep. But you can use your standard 9x13. And if you're using a 9x13, you will often find that you will need about 4 noodles to go across. Instead, I am using 3. All right. So once I have added my noodles, I'm then going to add some provolone cheese slices as well as a little bit of the mozzarella. If y'all are finding that this video is teaching you something, is giving you value, you know you want to make this recipe, go ahead and give your girl a like and let me know in the comments what other recipes you would like for me to make. Now, once I added more sauce, I'm going to add in some mozzarella and then a bit more parmesan. Now, what I forgot is that I meant to add a layer of noodles right here, okay? And then add my ricotta. However, I forgot, guys. Y'all know I'm filming. I'm busy. So I added the ricotta before I put on the noodles. But you know what? Baby, we still tore it up. Okay, we're not even worried about that. Okay, but I would add another layer of noodles there before the ricotta just for a little bit more stability. Then you could add your ricotta and then just add another layer of noodles. Okay, y'all? Now, guys, let me know in the comments what you like to serve with your lasagna and also how many pieces can you eat? Okay, is you a real greedy? Okay, do you got that greedy spirit? Are you taking down about 2-3 pieces? Now, me, to be honest with you, I can really only eat like half a slice. I can't take for so much lasagna, y'all. It's heavy, even though it's very delicious. I'm gonna serve mine with a salad. Of course, I love to have a little garlic bread too, but baby, there's so many carbs. Lord help me, Jesus. Okay. It's like I just can't eat but so much of these heavy meals like I used to be able to do back in the day. Okay, y'all know how we used to get down. Anyway, so guys, I'm getting towards the top and I'm going to add on my last layer of spaghetti. I did save a little bit of ricotta to put on the top. I like to do that because it makes the top of the lasagna look very white, if you know what I'm saying, and without having to add as much cheese, even though I am going to add a good layer of cheese here. I'm going to put some mozzarella and a little bit of an Italian blended cheese and a little bit of Parmesan. You can make the top as cheesy as you want, okay? This is a meaty cheesy lasagna, so I am going to go all the way. Now look at that, y'all. Ain't that a thing of beauty? It ain't even been baked, and y'all already know this lasagna is looking absolutely delicious. To contain any drips we're going to get, I'm going to place my casserole dish on a baking dish because as y'all can see, I feel this thing all the way up to the top. No shame, okay? So I know that this is going to bubble oil. And I'm going to teach y'all a trick my mama taught me, which is to stick some toothpicks into the lasagna before you bake it. That's going to keep the foil off of the cheese. And I'm also going to wrap the foil around the handles so that I can sort of balloon it up a bit to keep it covered but not sticky. I did preheat my oven to 375 degrees, and when it is hot, I'm going to stick the lasagna in covered for 40 minutes. Then I'm going to take the foil off and I'm going to bake it uncovered for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it in the second part of the baking time because you want to let it go until that cheese is browned and bubbling and looking super delicious. Of course, you want to take the toothpicks out, and y'all, when this lasagna comes out the oven, when I tell you ain't nobody going to be able to tell you nothing, honey, you can cook, baby. Do y'all see this beautiful, gorgeous lasagna? It is perfectly golden on the top. I want me some of those crispy edges, but you know what? Don't let that greedy spirit get you. You must let this sit for about 20 minutes because if you do not, honey, it's not going to be right. All right. Now I have to make this healthy, combat the calories. So I'm going to put on some parsley, make it beautiful, almost like a little salad, might I say. Okay. And the only thing left is to go right in there and get you some. This lasagna is packed full of flavor. It is so meaty. It is so rich and cheesy. Oh my goodness, I could not even finish this slice because it was just so rich, but it was so, so delicious. I know y'all see that cheese pull. I'm going to show you guys how good this is. My favorite part is the crispy edges on the side, that little brown cheese. Y'all, let me know in the comments if you are going to make this recipe. And when you do, come back to this video. Tell me and everybody else how much you love it. I'm going to see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye, y'all, and God bless.